What's up, everybody? So it's been a little while since I've sat down to make a video, and I wanted to jump on here and share about something that I've been meaning to catch up with you guys about. It's something that has come up in our one-on-ones, and I've heard about it throughout my time on this channel, and I wanted to take a moment to talk about it. And this topic is going to be a little tough to discuss, but I've thought about it a lot, and it's something that I personally experienced. And I really wanted to kind of shed some light on it, share what I went through with it, and then hopefully for whoever finds this video that it can shed some light on some things that you're going through too. And I want to give a disclaimer that this may not happen to all of us, but I know that it's happened to more than me. So that's part of the reason why I wanted to share about this. So, okay. I thought that I was being gang stalked when I was on Kratom. And if you're not familiar with what gang stalking is, there's a lot of information out there and videos out there and people who believe that they are experiencing this. But basically, it is the assumption that there is people or a person or an organization, or it's coming from a government aspect, that there is the use of surveillance. There is the use of other tactics like noise campaigns, creating noise in and around where you are. There is also like the feeling of being either watched or followed that a lot of times happens with the concept of gang stalking. There's a spiritual aspect to it too, that some believe that there is literally like a nefarious, demonic, satanic force that is either watching them or causing bad things to happen around them. And so is gang stalking real or isn't real? We're not going to go into that in this video specifically. I'm going to share my personal experience with where I'm at with it now. And I'm going to share like my personal perspective about if I think it was real or not. But as far as if it actually exists on a in reality and on a realistic level, excuse me, we're not going to go into that. There's plenty of other sources that you can, check out and, do your own deciding with it. But I just wanted to share my experience. So, okay. What happened to me when I was in the worst of my kratom addiction was that I felt like I could not go out and do anything without a negative experience happening with either people on the road when I was driving, people in grocery stores, running errands, going about doing anything. And it was like every single interaction that I had whenever I would go anywhere would be this negative experience where, for example, I would get behind, the wheel to drive, and I would, be going about my business, driving where I needed to go. And I would always have people like tailgating me, like, like riding my bumper sort of thing. And there would be open lanes on either side, but there would be somebody who would just be riding my bumper. It seemed like every time that I would drive. I would go to the grocery store, and the interactions that I would have with people would be so negative, where like I would, either be going down an aisle in the grocery store and I would cross paths with somebody I had a lady, run into my cart, it seemed like it was on purpose. And then it kind of started this like, oh, you know, why are you in my way by this lady? And I had an experience, and these are just some examples. It went on constantly though, and these are just examples of what, you know, some of the things that I went through. But I went to drop off my car at the shop to have an oil change. And I was told by the person working there that I needed this, and this done. And that, you know, I needed to do this or my car wouldn't be able to drive. I took it for a second opinion, and everything that they were saying was, you know, not actually true. So I felt like anytime when I would go to do anything, there would be these, you know, interactions where there would be negativity, full on almost confrontations, people seemingly trying to take advantage of me. I had a lot of things go on in my personal life at that point too, where I was in a business project with some people that things went sour with, and there was a lot of discrepancies over money and things like that. And so excuse me, all of this stuff was compiling. And I felt like as my Kratom addiction progressed, that it kept getting worse and worse and worse. And it got to the point where it was really adding to my eventual agoraphobia that ended up taking over in the last parts of my Kratom addiction. I didn't want to leave the house for a lot of reasons. I didn't feel good. I didn't want, you know, to leave the space where I could dose with Kratom easily. But I also, like, this compiling of all of these negative interactions that I was going through really added to this, like, I didn't even want to leave the house. I didn't want to interact with anybody. And so I came across the gangstalking concept at some point, you know, in that time period. And excuse me again, I realized that, like, oh, you know, this is probably what's going on. And during this time as well, I want to mention that I was smoking a lot of weed. So I think that that was adding to it. Excuse me again, you know, I haven't made a video where I've sat down in front of the camera in so long, and you know, I've had, you know, tons of videos where I'm clearing my throat. I apologize. It's first thing in the morning. So I apologize if I'm clearing my throat again, as in many of my videos. But so I came across this gangstalking concept, and I was like, okay, like, this makes complete sense. I'm smoking a lot of weed. I'm also working in the cannabis industry at this point, so I'm working with weed, and this is adding to this sense of, like, you know, just being on hyper awareness about, like, you know, wondering about, like, you know, because what I was doing was mostly legal in the cannabis industry. I was, you know, doing the whole medical cannabis thing, but there's a lot of gray still that was in that space. And so that mixed with, like, smoking a lot of weed and then being on Kratom was, like, adding to this sense of, like, you know, wondering if there was, like, you know, if I needed to be worried about different aspects with, like, the law and the government. I got really into conspiratory concepts during that time, where I was spending a lot of time on YouTube, and YouTube has changed a lot over the years, where, like, things, oh my gosh, sorry, Peanut delivery. I was making a video. Oh, hi, Peanut. Where'd she get her thing?
She found it.
Oh my gosh. Come here, Peanut. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi, Peanut. Hi. She found a little bandana. Were you out in the rain? Hi. Hi, Peanut. Aw. I was making a video, but that's okay. Hi, Peanut. Hi, I'm here. Oh, she's being so cute. Look at her. Hi, Peanut. Hi. Hi, Peanut. Aw. You want to be the star. You want to be the star. Hi, Peanut. Hey, Beanie. Hi. Oh my gosh, you're taking up. Ah. Oh, that's okay. You can just close the door. Hi, Peanut. Oh my gosh, you know I don't edit these videos, so this is just gonna be a part of it. You want to say hi? You say hi. You got a special outfit on this day, Peony. Hi. She found this little bandana on her walk. Cute. Okay, so I was like, finding out about, sorry, let me get readjusted here. Hi, Peanut. Oh my gosh, you're being so cute. Hi, baby girl. I was finding out about this whole gang stalking concept during this time, and I'm like, I was talking about conspiratory stuff. So like, I was like getting into all of this, like, crazy conspiracies. And I was saying that, like, on YouTube, things have changed a lot over the years where, like, you're not able to find this type of stuff as easily these days. And when you do find it, there's like a little disclaimer under the video that says like, oh, you want to know about Bohemian Grove, or you want to know about like this, that, or the other, like, and it like references you to like some sort of like, other source. So there definitely, is a like, they're trying to persuade you against that sort of like conspiratory type stuff. But in those days when I was getting into this stuff, it was just like rabbit hole upon rabbit hole of these sorts of concepts that you could go into. So this is like adding into where I'm already at in this headspace of being on Kratom and smoking a ton of weed and working in the cannabis industry. So it's all just compiling. Hi, Peanut. So this is all adding up, and I come across like this gang stalking concept, and I'm like, okay, this makes sense. Like, why wouldn't there be some sort of like nefarious, like either government or some sort of an organization that is against me? And I really believed it. For a good while, I believed that I was being gang stalked. Things kept compiling on top of each other, where like everything in my personal life with my friends, my family, my business relationships, what I was doing for work, everything is compiling on top of each other. And I really think that everything and everyone is out to get me at the worst of it. And it got to the point where I'm not leaving the house. And you guys, seriously, like every time I would go and do anything, like I said, in the grocery store, going to run errands, even just like taking a walk somewhere where I didn't think there was going to be a lot of people, there was always weird stuff that was going on, where there would be just like weird interactions. And, even behind the wheel of my car, like I'm, having people who are just like riding my bumper behind me. And so I really believed this whole gang stalking thing. And I'm sharing about all of this, and we're going into it in the beginning of this because I just wanted to let you know like where I was at. And, oh, you're wet, Peanut. It's raining here and she's wet and laying on me. That's okay. So like it got to the point where I am like, like not leaving the house, like literally thinking that everything and everyone is out to get me. I took like tape, like what do you call it? Duct tape. And I covered the cameras of my phone because I was so paranoid that like there was some like, government like source that was able to like surveillance through the cameras of my phone. And like, is that possible? Sure, it's possible. For sure it's possible. But like I was just in this hyper fixated mode that like I was being watched by the government. Everything and everyone was out to get me. And so it was really isolating. It was really scary. It was really like where like, I looked at the world and I looked at everybody around me in this way that like I was, I thought that everything and everyone was out to get me. And it was horrible. It was a horrible place to be in. So I share that because I want to go into where I'm at now and how I see things now. And again, we're not going to get into like, is gang stalking real or isn't it real? That's up for you to decide. But I'm sharing my personal experience with what I went through. And now in my third year Kratom free, and I'm going on my third year free from weed in July. July was when I quit THC, and then September was when I quit CBD, but I actually stopped getting like high on weed in July of this year. So I'm coming up on my third year of quitting weed. It might be important to mention too that I was a really heavy coffee drinker too. And I also am coming up on 3 years. Actually, I just hit 3 years without caffeine last month. And so that's something to mention too. I as well lost a bunch of weight as well because I wasn't eating enough. So I want to give those factors as well, because I think that this can add to this state of mind. But like now that I'm in this place where I am 3 years free from Kratom, and I've given up these other things like weed and coffee, and I've focused a lot on my health, my physical health through what I've, been eating. I've gained weight. I exercise a lot now. And so like, where am I at now? When I go out into the world, it's incredible what it's like to interact with people. Are there still those jerks out there sometimes? Yeah, for sure. Like there's always going to be those people that are not, happy with themselves and that take it out on others. But all in all, my interactions when I go out into the world are amazing. And I've made it something that I've focused on at a certain point in my sobriety. I think it's probably been like, in the first like 6-8 months when I started to actually leave the house again, and consistently and that kind of thing, and push myself outside my comfort zone, where I made it a point to say hello or good morning or, have a good day to people, neighbors in my neighborhood and that kind of thing. And I made it a point to actually go out and smile when I would cross paths with anybody, because I was pushing myself outside of my comfort zone. And so the response that I've gotten from people has been night and day to that time. Since my mind and my body have healed from this addiction, I have been able to experience like a lifting of that paranoia, was what I learned that it actually was. Sorry if you hear Peanut panting. The paranoia of, being in this altered state of mind through being high on these different things, weed, Kratom, and then I was all like tweaked out on the coffee. And, I've had a relief from that paranoia. And that thinking that I had that like everything and everyone was out to get me, and that, the government is surveillancing me, and, this, that, and the other, like, I don't feel that way anymore. I see things clearly that like, sure, not everybody is perfectly, kind and nice and empathetic all the time, and that, there may be situations where there's still conflict or there's still, a misunderstanding, but I'm able to see it from the broad perspective of like, okay, this is where this person's at right now. Not like they're specifically out to get me. And if somebody does do something specifically to hurt me, I'm able to see it like, oh man, that's a bummer. That's a bummer for them that they would feel like that they had to go through, that they had to do something like that. And so like there may be an initial, like it stings a little bit, but then I'm able to see it clearly. And I'm able to go, okay, well, you know what? Like that's what they did at that time, and that's the best that they could do at that time. And that's a bummer that that's the best that they could do, and I should have compassion for them. Do I feel like the government is surveillancing us? Yeah, sure I do. You know what? That's what social media is. And, you know, we are like, that's what it is these days, you know, with technology, the advances of technology, you know, our every purchase is watched, you know, our, you know, the ads that we get on our feeds in our, you know, YouTube or wherever, any social media, like all of that is because we're being surveillanced in what we purchase. But do I think that the government is sitting there like watching me through the camera of my phone? No, I don't anymore. I do know that, you know, there's a lot of things that are corrupt about our government and about like different aspects of society and stuff. But do I hyper fixate on it anymore? No. I've come to an acceptance of those things. I don't stay in a conspiratory state of mind anymore where I get, you know, sucked into these rabbit holes of like all of these like, you know, evil things that are going on in the elite that rule this world, and, you know, all the evil things of this government. You know, I accept that things are corrupt and evil, and the way that I look at it now is I just try to do my part to, you know, shine light into the darkness of this world, because we're not going to be able to change all of these evil, corrupt things. So I wanted to get on here and share this because I've heard from multiple people that this happens in this addiction, where you get into the depths of this addiction and it feels like everything and everyone are out to get you. And I've talked to some of you guys one-on-one that are talking about like, you know, these relationship struggles, or these people that, you know, you're just sitting there and thinking about like what this person has done to me, or, you know, I had this interaction with this person, and, you know, this is, you know, it's them, and it's this focus on like what others have done to us, or, you know, like how we were wronged. And I don't know what it is about this addiction. And I don't know if you know, if it's every addiction, because I've only had like, you know, the weed and the caffeine addiction too. I haven't had other harder drug addictions. So I don't know if that happens with those harder drugs. But like with this one there, I've talked to enough of us that have said that like, you know, this has happened to me too when I've been in the depths of this kratom addiction. And you guys, it's like enslavement. Like when we get stuck in this negative state of mind where we're hyper fixated on everything that's evil and everything that's wrong and everything that everybody else has done to us, like we are trapped in that. And like, there are so many good people that are in this world. There are so many good things that can be happening to us that we can be experiencing, but we're getting stuck on these negative aspects of our life and these negative aspects of how people have treated us. And so I make this video because it was something that happened to me on a very deep level. And now that I'm free of it, I want to share like where I was at with it and then where I'm at now. And my hope and my intention is that for those of you that are in that darkness, that you are like, you know, sitting there thinking about all the bad things that either somebody has done to you or that have happened to you in your life or whatever, that there may be like, you know, hearing what I went through and hearing that there's hope, that like, you know, getting healthy, healing our body and our minds, like it may be able to, you know, help you to get to the point where like, you know, you'll be able to see the goodness in life and the goodness in people again. So I know that this is it's a heavy subject, you know, like the people that I've talked to that like truly believe in their heart of hearts that they're being gangstalked. And like when I was in that place too, there was nothing that you could say to me that would convince me any differently. So like I know being in that headspace, I know what being there is like. So like, I just wanted to, you know, share like where I'm at now. Not saying that gangstalking isn't real. I'm not saying that what you're going through isn't valid. I'm just, you know, hoping that like if you see that somebody that went through it and they got to the other side of it, that maybe there can be hope that you can get there too. So yeah, this was an interesting topic, and I appreciate you dealing with my peanut cameo, who's sitting here being so funny right now. You want to say bye? You want to say bye to them, Peony? Say bye. Say bye. So, okay, guys, we love you and we'll see you next time. And, okay, take care of yourselves and know that I love you and I'm thinking about you and praying about you, praying for you. All right, love you guys. Bye.